forget to check out our sponsor, The Health Blaze, at thehealthblaze.com. 100% all natural products from lotions, soaps, foot soaks, bath bombs, and much, much more. Use the promo code Goodfella1Boxing. Tell them your boy CJ Goodfella sent you, get 18% off. We out. Drew Brees announced on social media today that he'll be back, I think, for his 20th NFL season. Came in the league in the 2001 draft with the San Diego Chargers. And also, some breaking news came in earlier. Greg Olsen has selected a team. Let's talk about it. We'll be back. Goodfella Sports TV. Don't forget to check out our NFL playlist for more videos like this. And don't forget, we on all social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And our email is there if you ever need to reach out for a business question, inquiry, sponsorship, or video request. Just touch the title of the drop-down box. All that's going to come up. And make sure you hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. Best way to donate to the channel. And shout out to my brother Edwin for the PayPal donation earlier. But Greg Olsen has chosen the Seattle Seahawks for a one-year deal worth $7 million, $5.5 million guaranteed. And he also had to pick between, I think, the Redskins, the Bills, and it may have been another team in there. But the Seahawks had some issues with tight ends last year. I think they traded one away to the Steelers, and then their main tight end went down. So they get that tight end back, put Greg Olsen there, give Russell Wilson another veteran target. That's a good fit for him. I think the Seahawks are probably a couple defensive players maturing, a couple moving pieces there on defense away from being a true Super Bowl contender. They gave the San Francisco 49ers all they wanted in both games this season. Beat them once, lost to them the last game of the season. That was the difference between home field advantage and going on the road and losing to the Packers. But, you know, with Greg Olsen coming in, always love Greg Olsen. Athletic. He may not be as athletic as he once was, but athletic, smart. He has some injuries, so he don't have to go there and be a full-time tight end. He'll share the load. They may even draft one. He'll share the load. He'll be a great mentor for a lot of players in the locker room. You're not adding a toxic player to the locker room. You're adding a veteran that's going to bring a lot. He can be a coach on the field and coach in the classroom as well, too. I think him and Russell Wilson do well. And, you know, right now, Russell Wilson is the best quarterback in the NFC, and I don't think it's close. The majority of the best quarterbacks are in the AFC. You're talking my homeboy, Deshaun Watson, you know, Tom Brady, assuming he stays with New England. So we'll see what happens. But I like Greg Olsen for 1 year, $7 million, $5.5 million guaranteed. And hopefully he can end his career off with a Super Bowl. I remember he was grinding in Chicago, and I think he wasted some years up there. Chicago just really ain't never had that marquee quarterback. And that's something that they just haven't been able to pick up. You know, even Jim McMahon really wasn't that good. But you know, shout out to Greg Olsen for doing this thing, man. And I really like him, respect him. I respected Luke Kuechly. He retired. And now Cam Newton's probably going to move on from the Carolina Panthers. For him, you might look at Chicago or some other places as well, too. But, you got a new regime coming in, a new coach coming in. Carolina turning over a new leaf. They're going to have a new defensive scheme, a new offensive scheme, and all them things. Had the coach going around Rivera. He went too far. He went to Washington to rebuild that culture there. And I know Olsen thought about going to play in Washington, but I think it's best for him to be in a win-now situation. And Seattle's definitely trying to win now. Russell Wilson is, 31, 32 years old. So credit to him, blessings to him. Hopefully he get much success up there in the Northwest in Seattle. All right, Drew Brees is returning. I know some Saints fans that's not happy with that. They wanted him to leave and Teddy Bridgewater to take over. It said that Teddy Bridgewater might get a $30 million per year contract for some NFL teams. I believe when I see it. He played very, very well last year. I don't see it, but Drew Brees, I just don't think he got enough arm left to get the job done for Seattle. But they can do some things. They got to get some playmakers. Get one of the receivers out of LSU. See if they can get a Jerry Jeudy. See if they can get a CD Lamb. Somebody that can be explosive. They can turn something into nothing. They can be as Yang to Michael Thomas's Yin. He's a good possession receiver. I think Drew Brees, they got to preserve his arm in the season. A lot of short passes. And they got to be selective when he go down the field. But New Orleans might lose two quarterback prospects. Jason Tatum is linked to the New England Patriots. Taysom Hill, excuse me. I said Jason Tatum. Taysom Hill is linked to the New England Patriots. Teddy Bridgewater may go somewhere else and get that bread. But 20 years in the league, it'll do it to his arm. And he ain't never really had the strongest arm, especially after a shoulder injury happened with the San Diego Chargers, is how he got to New Orleans in the first place. But I just don't think he got enough arm. So they got to do some things to strengthen his arm in the offseason. Band work, a lot of rest, and they got to do a lot of window dressing. They got to find a back that could really be that Mark Ingram type of back, and a lot of play action. They got to redesign their offense because the NFL is going to evolve, and they're going to adjust to what they do in New Orleans with the run, dipping it, dunking it to Alvin Kamara out the backfield, and then hit Michael Thomas. They're going to make an adjustment. So how do you adjust to that? You got to get a receiver that's respectable. So you get a receiver that can stretch the field, be explosive, find a nice little slot receiver. I think they'll be all right. Add a couple pieces, on defense. But Drew Brees losing his arm strength, and that's the difference between him and Tom Brady. Brady still can zip it. You know what I'm saying? And maybe Drew Brees needs to learn to throw with his legs a little bit more, his core a little bit more. But his arm strength is dipping fast. So, to be honest, I think they would want to keep Taysom, or they want to keep Teddy Bridgewater, but it's okay. It's a deep receiver draft. They can draft a quarterback in the first round. No, they don't want to. They go get a Jordan Love, an Eason, or they go later in the draft and find a quarterback. But receivers, they one of their top needs, man, and some DBs too. But New Orleans still in it. Drew Brees can play on an intellectual, cerebral level, and he can make some things happen. But we'll see what happens. I know Drew Brees is probably gonna make the adjustments. Sean Payton will too. So we'll see what happens. But congratulations, Drew Brees, 20 years. A lot of people don't make it 20 years in life. So credit to him. Credit to Greg Olsen. Don't forget me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Reach out to the email as well. All the information in the description. Intro instrumental is there as well too. Appreciate the love, support. Let me know what you feel in the comment section about Brees and Olsen. We go.